Before we come to order, it is Monday, September the 9th, 2024. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and the Kerr County Commissioners Court is now in session. If you would, please stand for the prayer and the pledge, which will be led by Kerr.
Please bow your head. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all of our blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We thank you for the beauty of the hill country, the people of the hill country, and especially the recent rain. I can't remember the last time I saw it this green in September. So thank you, Lord. But grant your wisdom and guide us on our decisions and deliberations today on behalf of the people of Kerr County. Shine your light of truth on everything. Keep our first responders safe and protect our children. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. First item of business, I want to remind everybody to turn your phones off or to silence. You can put it on buzz, but we don't want to interrupt the proceedings. And with that, first item of business on every regular Commissioners Court meeting is public input. And this is the opportunity for us to hear what the public wants us to know. We don't have the opportunity to reply, but we certainly will listen. And we ask that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes. And with that, I have one request to speak, and that's Nikki Keynes.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Nikki Keynes, and I live here in Kerrville. This is my appointment letter from last year as the early voting ballot board judge, and I'm here to say that my term has ended. On that date, which was August 14th, the court approved and appointed all judges, polling locations, and everything. And it was requested by Nadine, who was the elections coordinator at the time, and she has the reputation of holding that position for quite some time. 2 weeks ago, on August 26th, Ms. Alford, now the county clerk, requested approval for early voting locations, election day polling locations, polling judges, and individuals working on election day and central count. What was not included then or on today's agenda are the names of the early voting ballot board judges for your approval. It is no small commitment for the judges and the board members who serve 2 weeks before and including election day, plus 1 day after the final canvass. After the runoff election in May, I requested from the Deputy of Elections a deadline for my submission of names for those willing to serve on the board for this upcoming general election, but was never informed. Regardless, I emailed on July 20th, 23rd, and August 22nd to try to clarify the names and the status of those I submitted, including myself. To date, I have not received any response. I am not here asking to be appointed. My understanding is that the county chairs may recommend other people who are willing to serve, and I respect this. I am here to encourage the court to follow through and ensure that that communication is happening and that those recommendations will follow. Your next court date is September 23rd, and election season is fast approaching. The early voting ballot board requires training and begins serving at the start of early voting, which I believe is the 21st. I am also asking that the court and county employees respond to citizens in a timely manner, answer questions, and communicate the direction of the court. Thank you.
Is there any other public input? There being none, we'll move on to Commissioners' comments. Precinct 1.
Precinct 1 got plenty of rain. Super excited. I think everybody else did too, so I don't feel bad. Last Thursday, I had the pleasure of attending. I got there on the tail end of the the Veterans Benefit Fair. 76 tables were set up for vendors. I got to visit with all the folks there, and everybody overwhelmingly thought it was well worth their time to be there. And the added bonus was to get to network with some of the other people that were setting up booths. So kudos to Jenna and to Chase that did an awesome job.
Sorry.
That's all.
I didn't realize we had time on it.
I'm done.
Primarily.
So
it'll go off again.
Right.
Well, the burn ban remains lifted in precinct 2 for all of them for that matter. And we have, as Commissioner Overby stated, been blessed with rain. That's been great. So recently, just working with our county engineer and our grants coordinator to provide clarifications on the engineering and architectural services RFQs. And just so that everybody who might be interested is aware, the submittals are due this the 13th, and we'll be opening them next Monday on the 16th. And otherwise, I spent the last few days over in Florida, a very momentous occasion for my family. My mother celebrated her centennial birthday.
Wow.
It was a great function. She's doing great. I'll just comment that what a relief it was to arrive in San Antonio late last night. It was cool and there was no humidity on the floor, so count our blessings.
Good. Precinct 3.
A couple of things. One, I would encourage everyone that if you haven't been down Highway 27 by the Ag Barn, the field, the American flag, which is it's very impressive. It's always moving just to drive by and see that display. Another thing, just I saw on the agenda today the 391 agreement, but I have visited with Commissioner Carpenter in Kendall County. They're kind of the same thing. They're kind of evaluating where they are on it. They talked to Chip Roy. They're not sure, where they're going to go with that, but I said, well, we're just going to continue to communication on that. And there was another thing I had, but I forgot what it was, so I must not have done it. Oh, I know what it was. It is important. Kerr County is the recipient of a national award for the sewer project. That's been going on for a number of years. To be honest, I'm not sure what the exact name of the award is, but it's related to using the environmental cleaning up the river, and the Clean Water State Revolving Fund. But my understanding is that we'll be announced at a meeting in Reno, Nevada. I don't believe anyone from the fort's going, but it is a bit of an honor. And it goes back to Commissioner Bill Williams has had this vision after we had some success in the Kerrville South similar type project. That's also been very successful. But anyway, that's it.
All right. I don't have a whole lot other than right here at the courthouse since last time we met. We've gotten right at 6 inches of rain, and that kind of goes, the judge said he got about the same amount in that time span, and I did too. So even our furthest west people in Kerr County got pretty good rain a while back. So we're happy with that. One thing coming up this Saturday, the Ingram Volunteer Fire Department's fundraiser, and it'll go virtually all day. They'll have a bunch of chairs that are painted and by different schools around the area, not just here in Kerr County. And those chairs are auctioned off, and they're kind of neat. It's worth seeing. And I can't remember the exact times. I'm thinking maybe 10 or 11 o'clock when it kicks off. And there'll be a bake sale and all that kind of stuff. So stop in there and help these volunteers. That's all I got today.
The only thing we might have skipped over is there is the Walk of Honor this Wednesday afternoon. Anybody remember what time that starts?
5 o'clock.
Trailhead. I'm looking forward to
Got a
that.
proclamation here in just a minute. But the one thing I would remind everybody is that the Field of Honor flags. My wife and I have our father's flags there, and if you haven't done one, I recommend that you seriously consider it. But if you haven't gone, if you haven't driven by or walked through, they play taps at sunset every night. It is a very appropriate and honorable thing to do. So just shout out to me.
Got my two flags, but I haven't seen it yet.
These are the proclamations we made. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the consideration agenda. And the first item today is 1.1, which is recognition of Brianna Ottergone, a part-time temporary engineering technician for outstanding work in the engineering and road and bridge department.
And I have Brianna here with me. She's standing next to me. Come over here so people can see you right there, Brianna. I'd like to brag about this gal. She came and worked for us this summer. For 16 weeks, she did an excellent job. Brianna Aragon worked in the engineering and road and bridge department during the summer 2024. as a temporary part-time engineering technician through an agreement with Schreiner University. During that span, she accomplished much with little to no oversight or instruction. Examples of her work are learn to use geographic information system software and accurately measure construction material quantities. She developed engineering cost estimates for potential road work projects. She mapped groundwater, monitor water well locations, and looked up the historical water level depths. That was a little special project I needed. Interacted with the public and solved customer problems. Archival and reorganization of department files. She attended development plan review meetings, assisted with construction inspection, assisted with development plan review, and other duties as assigned. That's the catch-all. Brianna is a senior civil engineering major at Schreiner University, where she will graduate this fall with a Bachelor of Science degree and will go on to pursue professional engineering status in the years to come. Please join me in thanking Brianna Aragon and Schreiner University for her outstanding service this summer. And she's got class at 10 o'clock. So we asked Jody if we could put this first, and Jody took care of us. So Brianna, thank you so much. You did an outstanding job. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda, also near and dear to my heart, is consider, discuss, take appropriate action to approve the 9/11 commemoration proclamation. General Oaks.
Good morning, Judge Kelly, Commissioners. Thanks for your service to Kerr County. My wife and I, Barbara, live in Precinct 2, Kerr County, and I'm here to offer for your consideration a proclamation to commemorate 9/11 as Patriots Day in Kerr County. Judge, I know you've seen the draft proclamation. We can dispense with a reading unless you'd like me to read it.
We've not only seen it, we've signed it. And at this point, let me just take a vote. Those in favor of approving the proclamation for the Patriot Day observance in Kerr County as presented, say aye. Aye. You may proceed.
Thank you. Now, clearly we have 3 of our own residents where we're going to recognize at this walk on Wednesday. The walk will be at Schreiner University starting at 5. There'll be some short remarks. Then people are invited to take a 1.7-mile walk. Along that walk, you're going to see pictures of representative sample soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that were killed every year. 3 of our own residents will be recognized there. And just to remind our citizens of the sacrifices that were made for the 20 years post 9/11. That event has seemed to fade into a memory, and so we're looking to start this as an annual event, and we'll see how the turnout goes. So thank you very much, Commissioner. I appreciate it.
Okay, then I'll read the proclamation. Pardon?
Okay, we didn't have a motion and a second. They each keeping.
We took a vote.
We took a vote.
Somebody
We
give me the
didn't.
motion in a second.
I make a motion that we
That's
accept the
second.
You
proclamation.
choose who first said one. This is a proclamation for the Patriot Day observance in Kerr County. Whereas the United States of America was attacked on September 11, 2001 by Al-Qaeda terrorists who hijacked 3 passenger jets and flew them into the Twin Towers in New York City and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. And whereas 2,977 innocent civilians and 343 brave firefighters were killed in the attack that day, also causing widespread fear and disruption to all facets of American life. And whereas brave citizens aboard United Flight 93 fought back against the terrorists and crashed the aircraft in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, doubtlessly defeating the hijackers' plan. And whereas successive presidents of the United States since 2002 have issued executive orders annually declaring September 11 to be recognized as Patriots Day in remembrance of those lost on September 11, 2001. And whereas the United States deployed over 800,000 soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines to combat in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and the Horn of Africa in 20 years following the attacks to defeat Al-Qaeda and their successors in the Islamic State. And whereas the armed forces of the United States have performed with tremendous valor and sacrifice during the global war on terror from 2001 to 2021 and have suffered over 7,000 warriors killed in defense of the American people. And whereas thousands of veterans from the Texas Hill Country have served in honor in multiple combat campaigns in the Middle East and Africa, the 3 Kerr County veterans being among those killed, Jacob C. Like, Lawrence D. Ezel, and Cody J. Orr. And whereas Kerr County leaders and public have faithfully supported its veterans and recognized their service and sacrifice for their country. Now, therefore, the Kerr County Commissioners Court does hereby recognize September 11, 2024 as Patriots Day in Kerr County, Texas. And we call this observance to the attention of all citizens and extend our heartfelt gratitude to those veterans who have served in the global war on terror. Adopted this 9th day of September 2024 and signed by all of us. And General, if you come down, I want to get a photo off on this, but as you're coming down, I want to hold up. The last time that we sat beside each other was at a Memorial Day event, and he gave me these cross cannons and missiles. This is the symbol, the United States Army Air Defense Artillery, where I served.
First fire.
Yes, sir. And I kept this close, very, very meaningful to me. And I have something I want to give you today. We're getting ready to talk about the Daughters of the American Revolution. And they gave out pins at their soiree this last weekend, convention, whatever it was. There were 700 of them. I know that.
It's a conference.
That's right. They gave out these pins, and I want to give this one to you in honor of renewing the interest and dedication to remembering September 11th. And it says, we remember 9/11/2001. With this, I'm going to bring the proclamation down.
Give this to you.
Thanks, Judge.
And we'll give you this. And I'll hold, okay, you got it?
There again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Very much.
All right.
This looks like an official document, so I probably need to hand it to somebody. Thank y'all very much.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is another photo opportunity. This is 1.3. Consider, discuss, take appropriate action on a request from the Daughters of the American Revolution, Major James Kerr Chapter, to declare the week of September 17, 2024 as Constitution Week. And this is on the agenda with my wife's name. I am not to invite her to the podium. I will read the proclamation myself. I've been instructed. This is a Constitution Week proclamation. Whereas the United States Constitution was signed by 39 men with 55 delegates in attendance at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia's Independence Hall on September 17, 1787, securing the nation's commitment to freedom and democracy. And whereas the United States Constitution has guided us through more than 2 centuries of growth and change and still serves as a model for democratic governments around the globe. And whereas the 237th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution provides a historic opportunity for the citizens in Kerr County to pay tribute to our founding fathers and to reflect the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of citizenship. And whereas today the United States still stands as a beacon of democracy and tolerance, inviting the world nations to pursue justice, provide freedom, and protect liberty for their people. Now therefore be it resolved that the Kerr County Commissioners Court hereby proclaims September 7 through 23 as Constitution Week and encourages the citizens of Kerr County, Texas to work together to foster a greater understanding and appreciation of the Constitution and the rights and duties of citizenship. And I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
And ask those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously approved. And this signed and sealed this 9th day of September 2024 and is signed by all members of the court. Okay. And we have Sharon Soul and my wife, Ricky Kelly, here on behalf of the DAR. You gotta get up. This part you gotta do.
Right here. Okay, you hold that, and I'll shake your hand, Sharon. And here we go.
Good, look here and smile. Now look this way.
You don't get handshakes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're 10 minutes late on a 9:10 item, which is the next item on the agenda. which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the presentation of waste and recycling services by Garbage 365 LLC, and they're offered to do a vendor assessment at no cost to the county.
Good morning,
Susan,
Judge
please.
Kelly. Thank you so much, Commissioners, for allowing me to be here. I'd be remiss if I didn't start off by saying thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of stress following that kind of amazing stuff this morning. So hopefully I can bring some more good news. It's great to see you all. And I really just want to take just a moment to say thank you to Jody. Jody has just been such a true professional in all the time that I've worked with Kerr County, and I can't thank her enough for her professionalism and kindness and just being amazing to work with. So thank you. Over the past 12 years, I've had the privilege of working with Kerr County during my tenure in the waste and recycle industry. May, I resigned my position to build Garbage 365 Waste and Recycle Vendor Consulting Firm. Garbage 365 is a waste and recycle vendor consulting company. We work directly for our clients. Our efforts have achieved significant savings for local Kerrville and Kerr County businesses. We have achieved this by using over a decade of industry experience to best negotiate vendor contract terms and conditions and reduce monthly and one-time service costs on behalf of our clients. We offer both one-time negotiations and/or monthly maintenance and contract negotiations. I am here today to request approval from the court to conduct a no-cost vendor waste audit on the 8 Kerr County locations and vendor accounts. Once approved, we will gather needed account information to assess current service levels, current service rates, and contract terms and conditions. This will give us everything needed to make our recommendations to the court for consideration. Once the information is received, our findings and recommendations will be presented to the court within 10 business days. If we find that there is cost savings opportunities and new vendor contract is merited, I will present a proposal for our services for review and consideration. For additional resources to validate my work with the county, I would ask that you reach out to Charlie Hastings and Kelly Hoffer and Jody, and Shane Evans is my hero. He's such a professional and such an asset to our county. And I can't thank you enough for keeping on board such amazing people to work with. So at this time, I'd like to pass it back to the court for comments and questions. Thank you.
The general question is that, can you explain exactly how you make this, how savings are generated?
Savings are generated through the assessment of the contract. Is the contract a valid contract? Is it protecting you in the future over rate increases that are coming ahead? If you're not in good contract right now and you're in a rollover, those rate increases right now can be anywhere from 28 to 35%. So with rate caps, we can get those down anywhere from the market 10 to 15%. So we really want to truly protect the county and all my clients now and in the future. Also, looking at vendor rates. Rates will go up as we just discussed, and in that time, we need to see if the market value is being sought after. We need to make sure that the rate is competitive.
I guess my question is that most of those, whoever those are, picks it up in the area now, most of it, those contracts are terrible for the most part for the person who has the waste. And I say that from being a small business owner and trying to change one of those contracts. It's almost impossible. How do you go in and modify the contracts with the waste industry?
That is done through the negotiations with them to adjust that verbiage to make sure that your best interests are held over the extent of that contract. And that can and would be done.
I guess I'm kind of curious, how much do we spend on waste disposal and recycling? I mean, do we have financial leverage to improve commercial terms?
Well, that's what, and I'm sorry to interrupt you and interrupt the question, but that would be challenging at this moment, only because you have 8 sites. So to tell you exactly what that whole picture looks like,
Yeah.
that I can do, and I would do in my assessment.
It doesn't jump out at us. We just went through our budget process, and I can't remember any particular budget line item for waste or recycling.
But you're here
That's
today
it.
to offer to do this at no cost for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to evaluate what we've
Yes,
got
ma'am.
going on.
Yes, ma'am. No cost assessment. I go in, take a look at everything, and then report back to you the benefits and what, can be offered. Again, at no cost to the county whatsoever. At that point, once that is presented, if I find that a new contract is merited or there is cost savings, then I'll present you with options and my proposal. And again, you're leaving, even if you do nothing, you're leaving with nothing more than some great information that may help you in the future.
It's a great proposal. I'm just curious where we can take it.
I am too.
But
Let's see what we can find out. That's what I'm here
I
for.
make a motion to,
Except
Approve the
vendor
agenda item.
assessment. Except the vendor assessment.
Second.
Recycling Services Garbage 265 LLC.
Thank you.
Well, actually, I think we're gonna invite them to do an assessment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yes, sir.
At no cost.
Approval to go forward just with the assessment at no cost.
No cost.
Fair.
Any discussion?
Well, and then after the assessment, then we look at terms and what have you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did we get a second?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize, we have a time item at 9:15 and we're late. This is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on a request to plant native plants along the Veterans Pathway on Saturday, November 2, 2024, as part of Bird City Community Planting Day. This is a joint project of the Hill Country Master Naturalist and Native Plant Society. Also, we'll provide a report on progress at Bird City Kerrville. Katie, is it Capel or Capel?
Yes, good morning. Katie Capel, I'm a master naturalist, I live in Kerrville. When I was here last, I was talking about a bird blind and you all had some concerns about the floodplain. And by golly, we got a flood, didn't we? So I was glad we hadn't built a bird blind down here. However, when you all built the Veterans Pathway, they cleared probably 20 feet of brush. And when the flood came and then some heavy rain, there's been some erosion, and I talked to Mr. Pace's office, and he got Charlie Hastings over there, and they're gonna have Road and Bridge look at it and see if maybe there needs to be something done that will alleviate some of that, but there's nothing growing.
It won't be Road and Bridge, don't give Kelly a heart attack.
Okay.
Shane's gonna be able to do it themselves.
Okay,
But they
okay,
have a good plan in place.
all right. But there wasn't anything planted. The city on the other side planted grass, but we can't grow grass under there because it's shady. So on November the 2nd, we're having a project community-wide of all the garden clubs are going to go in and plant native plants at different public buildings and nonprofits. So this is it's a community-wide thing. But we have the Native Plant Society and Master Naturalists want to go in and do some planting around the Veterans Pathway to keep the erosion from happening again. And this is at no cost to the county. They're saving up some plants now. And I noticed these folks were already over at the courthouse a week or two ago, getting ready to plant some things there. So that's my one point, is to ask permission for us to do that as a project on the 2nd of November, to get some things in there to make it look better and hold the soil down. I did want to get back to you about the bird blind. And we're working with the Kerrville Parks and Rec Department right now to build one in Kerrville Shriner Park. I would still like to put one in Flat Rock, but I think we need to get one up before we think about another one. And we will come back to you with specific plans about that when we get to that point. So if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
I move we authorize Hill Country Master Naturalist Native Plant Society to plant native plants along the Veterans Pathway on Saturday, November 2nd, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Planting plants along the pathway. Discussion? Yes, discussion.
I'd like to ask Charlie to take the podium, because Charlie went and looked at it, and I know he had some concerns about what kind of planning we might do, because the natural growth, I think, is already sort of taking root. Tell us your views.
Some
on
of it is. I'm not 100% certain whether or not some of that is natural or not, or native, what's going in. But having a chance to hear everything that Katie had to say, that area wasn't growing anything because the trees were so thick, but trees had to be cut down. It's allowed sunlight to come through for the first time on that kind of forest floor, if you will. And we are having erosion issues, so I think if they can get some native things established in those areas that are getting the sunlight, it's probably going to help more than anything. So
Well, there's a whole area of gardening having to do with banks, and because people dig things up and they don't want their banks to wash away, so we'll do that.
But if it's native, then it should be hardy, and it should do what I think they're anticipating to do, and it's a great way to honor the veterans.
Okay, very good.
Just want to come for you. Katie, before you, at some point, you just get me your phone number. Our nursery will donate at that time of year, especially a lot of plants that are, before we get into the cold winter,
Get them in the ground.
Let's go.
we'll probably give a large number to you.
You want my phone number?
Or you can get
You don't have
contact
to
me.
do it.
I will.
You contact me.
You don't have to give your phone number out.
No.
Well, as part of the November 2nd effort, we're gonna do some outreach to the community and have some classes around about, what to plant when, and, don't be trying to grow hydrangeas and, things like that are not gonna make it in Texas or in Kerrville. So, thank you.
And by way of discussion, I learned from our master naturalist last week when they were working here at the courthouse. One of the plants that we do not want to plant is vitex. I didn't know that was such an evil plant, but apparently it really is. Very aggressive and takes it everything over. So live and learn. So, any other discussion? With that, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion unanimous. Next item is 1.6. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on a request from Hill Country Dispute Resolution Center to renew a contract with Kerr County to provide mediation services in Kerr County and Kerr County. And Ed Reeves is not here, it seems. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. Retired Air Force JAG. And he runs our mediation center up there. And for those of you that don't know, this is a very important service that is provided. They do it at a below market rate fee. And judges frequently refer people to the mediation center, see if they can get the cases settled and don't need to go to trial. And this is something that we've been supporting historically as far back as I think when we opened it, which is what, 20, 25 years ago, something like that. So on his behalf, I will make a motion that we go ahead and continue providing support and funding for the Hill Country Dispute Resolution Center.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
Excellent service.
Is this already in the budget?
That's gonna be my question. And it's just a 20,000 lump sum per year. Is that correct?
Saves us way more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just want to clarify.
But it is in the budget. So those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 1.7, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the Office of the Governor Grant Award number 2781409 for the Kerr County Victim Services Department. Speaker.
Good morning. The grant was previously presented to the court. This is just giving me permission to accept those funds formally. So I just need your okay to do so.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.8, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to rescind court order number 31538, 11/23/2009 for the shredded contract. Ms. Lance.
Here we go.
She could not be here this morning. This was a court order from November of 2009, and the shredded contract in the new budget is under the general fund now, not under Fund
And we'll
28.
address the new contract at the next agenda item, right?
Looks like it.
So we're rescinding the court order so that we can adopt the new contract.
I'll make a motion that we rescind court order 31538.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to rescind the court order as shredded as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.9, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve and authorize the county judge to sign a service agreement with Shredded Solutions for the collection, removal, and destruction of old, unused, or bad computer hard drives. Due to the sheer number of on-premises hard drives, a service agreement needs to be in place for the off-site purge, destruction, and tracking of these hard drives. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we have is boxes and boxes and boxes of old hard drives, probably from before John Trollinger was director. And we're looking to purge some of those, but we want to make sure that they get destroyed properly, so there's no data compromised.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the service agreement for Shredded to dispose of these hard drives properly.
Scott, are these just hard drives or?
There will be hard drives, media, floppy drives.
What about the old desktop computers that are sitting at the juvenile detention facility?
Those are included.
They
So
are.
the old desktops, yeah, there are some old video machines, there were
Yeah, I've been wanting to get rid of that. So that,
DVRs.
They still have floppy drives in them, so.
Yeah, that is included in that group that we're sending out.
So this is an IT house clean.
Yes.
Right.
Is there anything you want to donate? Can you donate to it?
No. We're not taking.
No.
Not taking. Okay. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 110, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve and authorize county judge to sign a contract with RX Technology for an off-site network survivability equipment installed at the sheriff's office. The project includes 2 new network servers, associated power equipment, and full install. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we got going on here is currently here at the courthouse, we have a machine with failover. So if a service goes down, it just goes to the other hardware and you don't notice. What we want to do is replicate that at the sheriff's office. So the servers that reside at the sheriff's office have the same capabilities.
I make a motion that we accept the contract with RX Technology to do just that.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the contract with RX Technology for the install at the sheriff's office as presented. Any other discussions?
So what's the total cost for this gonna be?
Just at $15,000 for the power system and $112 for the servers and the installs.
Okay, and this is in the recently approved
Yes.
budget? Has RX Technologies done workforce before?
Oh, yes.
Ongoing.
Ongoing?
They're doing that
They
365.
liberated this from
Yeah, they
doing
live
it.
here, yeah.
Okay.
Well, work in progress.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 1, I've forgotten, we have 9:30 timed item. Skipped over that, missed it. Item 1.14, which is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the Kerr County investment policy and broker dealer list for Kerr County's investment policy in accordance with the Public Funds Investment Act. Ms. Sullivan.
Yes, sir. Good morning. This is an annual item that I bring to the court. It's by statute, I have to have it approved each year. There are no changes. This wasn't a legislative session year, so it stays the same.
I'll move to approve the Kerr County investment policy as presented.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the investment policy as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. back up and pick up item 1.11. Consider discuss and take appropriate action to accept recent donations from Kerrville Pets Alive from Kerr County Animal Services.
Good morning. I just wanted to make some mentions here, some recent donations for your acceptance. Recently, we've had Kerrville Pets Alive has donated 75 cat vaccines totaling $228. They've supplemented adoption and reclaim fees for $250, and that's an ongoing donation during the year. A Portacool Cyclone 160 water cooler for the dog kennel area, which has made a huge difference back there. It gets pretty warm during the summer, so it's big and it puts out a lot of cool air. And then also a canopy for the dog yard. There's a few things I just wanted to mention on here. Some of these donations that I'm about to mention are not made directly to Kerr County Animal Services, but they do help the community and are worth noting. KPA also donated a recent $1,000 to the Hill Country Animal League for spay and neuter. This to supplement the county voucher to get newly adopted pets fixed. And they also keep a fund going at various other vets for when a pet is adopted from KCAS. And this pays the difference between the county voucher and what the total cost is to fix that pet. So I just wanted to mention that and say thank you.
Make the motion to accept the donations as presented and offer thanks to KPA for their continued help.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve accepting the donations from Kerrville Pets Alive.
Can I add one thing before you vote real quick? They spent $11,698 of their money sending animals out to vets second quarter.
Our partnership with Kerrville Pets Alive.
Not something that we would do, but that they do, doesn't come into our fund, so I just wanted to highlight that.
And it's certainly been beneficial.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.12. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to adopt the same fees as fiscal year 24-25 for services by the offices of the sheriff and constables, and the county clerk to be authorized to submit same to the state comptroller not later than October 15, 24. And standard procedure recommended changes by Reagan Gibbons Animal Control owner. Ms. Alford.
Yes, these are the fees that we need to submit to the state comptroller for the sheriffs and constables. Reagan has asked that the boarding fee per day be, for the small livestock animals, go up to $10 from $5, and large animal livestock from $10 to $15.
I move for approval of those two applications.
I'll second. Got a motion and a second to approve the fee schedules as presented with the proposed modifications. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question for Reagan, if you don't mind. Like these pen fees and stuff, well, all of them. How good are we at collecting?
So some of this stuff, and I'm not sure whenever there's a stray animals that are actually being strayed out there, the involvement out there, if some of this pertains to that, I'm not exactly sure, how many, like sheriff's deputies and things like that, whatever they're required, however many are required to be out there. So I'm not sure exactly how those types are collected. I know that whenever we do some of this stuff, like we kind of ran into a situation the other day where one of the constables was needing to sequester some horses, and we didn't actually end up with them because it was just in their best interest to stay where they were at. But that would have been something. Basically, we want to get a little bit better at getting some of these fees back, because we go out and buy feed and stuff like that for the animals, and they may be there for 10 days, they may be there for 1 day. We just, we don't know depending on the court, so we just want to try to get some more of that back. But
I was mainly talking like dogs and stuff. My dog gets out and unbeknownst to me, and y'all pick him up, and then there's a pen fee and initial fee, and then hourly fee.
Well, so on the dogs, that's all on our other fee schedule. This actually is just the actual livestock. Yeah. So all those fees are in our Kerr County Animal Service regular fee schedule, and we're pretty good about collecting collect on
Okay.
those, unless we get in a situation where we've got somebody that's in a real exigent circumstance type situation, but.
All right.
So you're gonna have to pay them.
Oh.
Yeah, good job.
All right. I already took him off that death row once.
So we have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.13, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to adopt fees of the county clerk's office as prescribed by the legislature, and fees that will be effective October 1, 2024. Ms. Alford.
Yes, these are the fees that the county clerk's office collects for personal property, real property, any filings in the land records, plat fees, assumed names and marks and brands that are filed, beer applications for restaurants and that, the vital statistics of birth, death, and marriage licenses and certified copies of those, any probate, guardianship, cases that are filed, criminal cases that are filed. These are the fees that we collect that I would like approved for the next year.
I move for approval.
One second.
A motion and a second to approve the county clerk's fees as presented. Any discussion?
Just a question, what, any changes or?
No changes at all, no, same fees as last year.
Anything else? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
We've got a 9:45, but I don't see Gary Nolan.
Oh, I'm Gary today.
Okay. So you're Gary today?
I'm Gary today. Unfortunately, couldn't make it.
So this is the 9:45 time item, 1.18. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the quarterly report from the Veteran Services Advisory Committee.
Good morning. Sorry, last night Gary said he wasn't gonna be able to make it, and I said, I'll tell them I'll be you today. So I'm just gonna give a report on our quarterly report from April to June. We had increased the tax-free income for 56 veterans and 7 surviving spouses. The amount for the retroactive money and the new annual amount is $1,312,800. We've completed 38 trainings. We have 91 new clients. So we are busy bees. We also had a lot of stuff happen. The Veterans Pathway ribbon cutting ceremony, our annual Memorial Day event, and we also hosted annual training to keep up our accreditation requirements. We had 19 counties and 4 Texas Veteran Commission Claims Benefit Advisors attend that training. It was for 3 days. It was very good. And then last week we had our benefits fair, which was very successful. I'm so sorry, I'm getting my notes out. We had, we don't know the exact number of how many people came, but we know it was at least 450. We had people come as far as Del Rio and Eagle Pass. A lot of good information came out. We had a lot of people come and approach us. So we had people who didn't know they were eligible for certain health care, and then they were able to talk to education and Texas Veteran Land Board and Fort Sam Cemetery and get claims submitted. So it was very successful for us. We had someone show up as early as 8:45. They wanted to make sure they weren't lost and knew how to get there. Everybody came, spouses, veterans, y'all showed up. Thank you. It was very meaningful, and we are very happy for it to be as successful as it was, since it was our first one, and we do plan on hosting another one. Not next year, but probably the following year. We also had over 70 vendors that were available to provide resources. Any questions? I do want to say thank you to Miss Lisa, because she is very patient with me, and I send her a lot of press releases, and she gets them out, and she gets the word out to everybody, and our success is not without her helping us. So I just really want to say thank you to Miss Lisa, and for y'all's support as well, and to my advisory council. Any questions for me?
I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the quarterly report from Veteran Services Advisory Committee, and just commend you for an outstanding job. I hear nothing but positive things about our Veteran Services team.
We try to show everybody what Kerr County's all about. We try to set the example. Thank you.
Second, got a motion and a second to approve the Veterans Services report as presented. Discussion.
A comment that this is a great example of, and we're getting ready to talk about tax rate in a minute. This is something that is not required by state law that we do this. This is something that this county decided to do to help our local veterans. And we all get emails that we just need to cut back, I'm gonna do what we're supposed to do. And this is an example in my mind of something that we need to continue doing, and we are continuing to do so as much as we can. And just to show the taxpayers, I mean, the amount that we're bringing in, $1.3 million additional dollars into this county is amazing. I mean, that's a phenomenal number, and the Veteran Service Office don't do a great job.
Thank you.
Let me echo.
And that's just a quarterly number, right?
Yes, sir.
That's just for the quarter.
Yes, sir, that's from April to June.
Incredible. County definitely benefits.
Thank you.
It has been the veterans.
Thank you.
At the Veterans Benefit Fair last week, I was confronted by numerous people, some friends and some people that I didn't know, reminding me of the way the Veteran Services used to be. In 2017, when Judge Pollard asked me to shadow him to do this job, and I'm sitting in blue chairs, we virtually didn't have the Veteran Services Department. For all practical purposes, we did nothing. After I got elected in 2000 and took office in 2019, some of you will remember my first proposed budget. I learned a lot from that proposed budget. One of the things was I sat down and determined what functions the county performs that we're required to do by statute or constitution. Our constitutional duties, our statutory duties, the things that law enforcement, roads, the legal system that we do. We're required to do this by law. There are some things that the county does that we have chosen to do, and I call those elective. There was the mandatory and elective. Some of y'all may remember my terminology back then. It was a huge flop, by the way. It did not work out like we thought it was going to work out. And the two things that happened since then has been we turned Veteran Services around. It is probably the most improved department that we have in the county, and I commend you for it.
Thank you.
That's not to say that the other departments don't do good work. They do, but they weren't in as bad shape as Veteran Services was. And people would remind me about, remember when you told us that we didn't have to do that? Well, we don't, but we do it because it's the right thing to do. And we learned our lesson with Veteran Services and with Kerrville Pets Alive, because that was another one that we don't have to do. We manage rabies. That's what we're required to do by law. And you can see our animal control facility there. That whole function has been greatly expanded, and we do that because the public has asked us to do it, and it is for the public good. And so it's a shout out to not only veterans, but to KPA and what we're doing over there. There are some things that the public needs to know. We spend taxpayer dollars to assist these programs because it is the right thing to do. And this one is actually very profitable. So,
Thank
well,
you.
I'm going to add to that list, just VFDs.
Yes.
That was a huge one, and they're an extension
Yeah,
of the county in a lot of ways. And we give them money. A lot of counties, neighboring counties, don't give them that. So,
yeah, that's a good catch.
yeah.
So, any other discussion? Those in favor of Veteran Services report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Jenny. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Good.
Break.
Let's take a break before 10 o'clock. Back in here.
Okay.
Okay, Commissioner Court's back in session. I was reminded at the break that I would be remiss if I did not mention a certain football game that took place in Ann Arbor, Michigan this week. Majority of the court are from that university. Well, and you taught there. So that's just a shout out for University of Texas and wishing you welcome season.
There were like 10,000 fans there.
Yeah, we had a lot, I know,
Yeah.
several.
I had several friends go too.
Yeah.
I had my son grandson over there.
Yeah.
I was in Texas, but I was sure cheering against Michigan.
Yeah, I knew that.
I had the pleasure of watching the game in a establishment in Oklahoma City with a lot of other people around that listen to us hooping and hollering. It was lovely to do that in Oklahoma.
And by the way, I had the honor in 2004 to attend the Rose Bowl when Texas played Michigan. And you'll remember that game, that was Vince Young. He refused to lose. I've never seen a quarterback like Vince Young. He just refused to lose. And with 2 seconds left in the game, Texas kicked the field goal to win 38-37. And I promise you that I was there with a friend of mine, Billy Anderson, you may know Billy Anderson. And we leaned that ball through the goalpost. Okay, we've got these timed items. Do we want to go ahead and open these bids first?
I'm good.
Well, they got to do some work on those.
I'll go ahead, we'll call that.
Yeah, I call it. So then we're going to start the Bob Reed show after that. So item 1.19, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to open bids for the Kerr County Animal Services Facility and submit to appropriate personnel for review. And I see somebody in the audience out there who wants to review.
Hey, a couple of comments. Well, the bids, what I'll do is just read probably the base bid because there's like 6 alternates. But the alternates, I will not be shocked if the bid, the base bid comes in higher than our bond amount was. We have a number, and usually the way we do bids, we have a base bid and you add alternates to get up. This one, we have a base bid and then we deduct things to get down to where it needs to be. So,
They bid it like that too.
so and then we did that way to mainly get things done. And I'll also make a comment that I will read the bid, but one of the bids, and we need to keep track of this one. One of the bids came in 4 minutes late, and technically will not qualify. So, go down.
I had a judge in San Antonio tell me one time, the rules are the rules.
The first base bid, this is from J.K. Bernhardt, $6,785,537. And the number of deductions for various departments. And then the other bid is from Walter Construction. And their base bid is $7,380,000. And they have a number of deductions as well. With that, I will make a motion to accept both bids and refer them to architect Peter Lewis for review and to come back at our next court meeting with a recommendation.
We've got a motion to accept and approve the bids and submit to for review.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'll make a quick comment. By my quick glance, we can get the bid below or into the bottom amount.
Good.
That's good.
We can?
But
So we can?
it looked like on my quick, I just glanced at the numbers, yes.
Cool.
Okay.
That doesn't leave too many things out that you really needed or that we're gonna have to spend the money on.
That we'll find out next Thursday.
We're just at the bid process, right?
Can you elaborate a little bit about the deadline and how they missed it by 4 minutes? I mean, man, I hate to exclude a bid.
It's, I mean, all of our bids have a specific date and time that they're due.
I understand that.
And they were due at 2 o'clock on
Third. Is it Friday?
Friday. Anyway, and it was date stamps 2:04.
Yeah, he claims, I did not see him, he claims he was putting the bid together at the table in my office by 2 o'clock, but when he brought it to the counter for the girls to file stamp it, it was 2:04. I asked him, I told him he could come in here and talk to y'all about that, and I'm assuming he's decided not to do that.
And I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
Law is law, guys.
yeah, yeah, there's no gray area.
it's unfortunate, and
Yeah.
I did not look at the bid, I don't know if it was higher or lower, but, you know.
Is that in the packet?
Yeah, it's in the box.
Okay.
No, it's, we got it separate.
Yeah.
Here's the one for you.
Did we read the amount of the other one?
I would.
You're not supposed to open it.
No reason to do.
It's an all about the money.
Kelly's not supposed to.
You are not supposed to open it. We had that happen too on material bids. You're not supposed to open it.
Unfortunate, but rules of the world.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very well, motion passes. Okay, now we've got some timed items. We have a 10 o'clock timed item, which is item 1.20, which is a public hearing on the proposed Kerr County and Lateral Roads 2024 tax rate. I convene the public meeting. Is there anybody who would like to address the board? Being none, then I will adjourn the public meeting. We will move on to time item 10:05, which we can take right now, which is item 1.21. Consider, discuss, take appropriate action to take a record vote to adopt the 2024 Kerr County tax rate. This will be a combined tax rate for Kerr County and Lateral Roads. Mr. Reed.
Yes, good morning. On August 26th of this year, the court unanimously proposed a tax rate for the 2024 tax year of 42.33 cents per $100 valuation. This rate represents the no new revenue tax rate for Kerr County's general fund and the Lateral Roads Fund. The rate is broken down as follows: 35.47 cents per $100 valuation for maintenance and operations. The interest and sinking fund is 4.64 cents per $100 valuation, and the Lateral Road Fund is 2.22 cents per $100 valuation. Does that agree with your figures? I just want to verify with the auditor. The notice of the proposed tax rate was published in a local newspaper in accordance with the Texas Property Tax Code. In addition, this notice has received proper internet and website postings. I have placed a copy of how the motion should be read into the record to adopt this tax rate. Put that in each one of your boxes, and this vote should be a record roll call vote.
I'll do it. I move for the adoption of total combined tax rate for the tax year 2024 of 0.4233 per $100 valuation. The breakdown of the tax rate is maintenance and operations, 0.3547 per $100 valuation. Interest and sinking fund, 0.0464 per $100 valuation. And lateral roads, 0.022 per $100 valuation. This rate does not exceed the 2024 no new revenue rate.
Commissioner, could you read the lateral roads once more? I think you left off 1, 2.
Yes.
I left off. Which one?
It should be 0.02.
Oh, I left off the 2. I will start right there. And lateral roads, 0.0222 per $100 valuation. The rate does not exceed the 2024 no new revenue rate.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the tax rate as presented, which is a no new revenue rate. Any discussion? Then we'll take a vote. Precinct 1.
Aye.
Precinct 2. Aye. Precinct 3. Aye. Precinct 4. Aye. And I vote aye. Unanimous. Moving on to item 1.22 is a public hearing on the Lake Ingram Estates Road District 2024 tax rate. I convene the public hearing. Is there anybody who would like to address the court? There being none, then I will adjourn the meeting, and we'll move on to item 1.23, which is to consider, discuss, take appropriate action to take a record vote to adopt the 2024 Lake Ingram Estates Road tax rate. Mr. Reeves.
Yes, Judge. Also, on August 26th of this year, the court unanimously approved a proposed tax rate for the Lake Ingram Estates Road District. This rate is 11.07 cents per $100 valuation for the 2024 tax year. A notice of this public meeting was published in a local newspaper in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Property Tax Code. In addition, in accordance with the code, the appropriate postings were placed on the website and internet. I've also passed out a copy of how the motion should be read to adopt this tax rate. This should also be a roll call vote. And as I remind you, the entire tax rate on this one is for debt service, no maintenance and operations.
Let me do the second one too. I'll do a better job second try.
Okay.
I move to adopt the Lake Ingram Estates Road District tax rate at .1107 per $100 valuation for the 2024 tax year. The entire tax rate will be dedicated to the interest and sinking fund.
Thank you.
Got a motion and a second to approve the Lake Ingram Estates Road Tax District tax rate as presented. Any discussion?
Just clarification for public, this tax is only borne by the residents of the Lake Ingram Road District.
That is
They
correct.
voted the tax on themselves a number of years ago. It's not, so they pay for the tax.
That is correct.
Any other discussion? Then we'll take a record vote. Precinct 1?
Aye.
Precinct 2?
Yes.
Precinct 3?
Aye.
Precinct 4?
Aye.
And I vote aye, unanimous, 5-0. Thank you.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Okay. Item, let's go back. We've got untimed items that we didn't complete before the break. Let's go back to 1.15, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to open, read, and award the annual bids for delivered fuel for the road and bridge department. Ms. Hoffman.
After the bids have been opened and read, we would like to review immediately and return on this court's day, September 9th, 2024, and award the delivered fuel bid. All bid prices are to be in effect upon acceptance of the bid, and at this time, we ask the court to open and read all fuel bids.
You want to come back later in court
No.
today?
No, I think we'll probably,
Yeah.
I think I'll
We can do it
probably,
right now.
yeah, it's pretty simple.
We go ahead and do it.
Gotcha.
You can do it.
There's two.
We received one bid from Maxi Energy. Their unleaded gasoline is, let me make sure I read it right. .4116, if I'm not, maybe some other things on that.
It's, what you're bidding is the rack price, because there's no way for them to be able to bid.
And diesel off-road is .2239, and diesel on-road is .4239. Those are from Maxi Energy. And then other bid is from Texas Fuels. Their unleaded 87 octane is .56. Their off-road diesel is .50, and their on-road diesel is .50. And motion, accept the bids referring to road and bridge for review. Recommendation.
We have a motion and a second to accept bids and approve the road and bridge for review. Recommendation. Any discussion?
Jeff's gonna have the can filled. He doesn't know he has to open all bids.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The bids are accepted and referred to road and bridge for review.
Thank you.
Next item is 1.16, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept an asset forfeiture report from the Kerr County Constable Precinct 2.
I
I don't think he plans to be here, it's just
This
a
is a
report.
routine report, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the chapter 59 asset forfeiture report from Cook County Constable Precinct 2.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the forfeiture report as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.17, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to go out for request for qualifications, RFQ, for an HR salary survey.
This is something I started, this is something that's in the budget, and Commissioner Pace and I have visited, and we think that this is something we need to do as soon as possible to get this going. Too often we, in the past, waited until around the first of the year to do this, and then it's too late to implement it into the budget. So, we wanted to get this moving. One thing that was interesting with the amount, Jody went back and looked at our last time we did this, and it came, and we did not go out for qualifications because it was under $50,000. This time, I think we budgeted $50,000, but if we internally cut that back, we don't need to go through that process, and we can start negotiating with people when we say we're going to maximum spend $45,000, and see if we can do it, or we can put it up to bid, towards option.
What's your recommendation?
Yeah, what's the going rate?
I personally don't think we need to go into as much depth as we have in the past. I don't think we need to look at job descriptions. I think we need to look at salaries, and do a comparison of comparable counties, and then look at a lot of the work, was done by public sector that did our last thing. They put together ranges before never really finalizing into that. But I think that really, talking to some companies to look at that, and I just don't think it should cost over $50,000.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but I'd like to hear from our HR director.
Okay.
While she's getting up, if memory serves me, didn't it spend like 35 last time? 35,000?
Something like that.
I don't have it with me. I know Jody provided me a copy of it. I don't have it with me. I was just coming to listen to the agenda item. I'm not sure what input y'all want me to provide.
Well, you're the ones going to be working with whatever we get, right?
For sure.
And what we're struggling with here is, do we go ahead and submit an RFQ in anticipation that it's going to cost 50 or more, because we're required to do that by law? Or before we do that, do we go ahead and try to negotiate with various providers to see if we can bring it in under 50, which we don't need to put out for bid? And so, kind of look at you, you're closer to that market than I am.
Well, I can definitely reach out to a couple of different ones and see where we are. If we get in at less than 50, that'd be amazing.
Well, why don't we do that before we vote on this side?
Yeah, we can always put it back on, if the communication we get back is that it could be 50 or real close to 50 or more, we can put it on the next agenda, because our not going to delay us that much.
I really think if they're not going to look at the job descriptions, it really won't take that much manpower, and hence their cost should be under the 50,000. And I don't think they need to. I think we have done a very good job with our job descriptions, so it's just trying to reach out to the other.
I think we ought to try that before we do the RFQs.
competitors.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
So no action.
So we're going to no action on this.
Okay, perfect.
What you do with the information is what's more important.
I don't think we're going to do all of it. Let me put this one. Okay, item 1.24, quarterly update regarding the current and future grant opportunities for Kerr County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant Gage.
Good morning. Jody just asked me to give you a quick update, quarterly update on what are our current grants that we have with the Sheriff's Office and what upcoming grants that we are expected to see. Currently, we have two of them active, which is Operation Lone Star, and the other one is Operation Stone Run. Those are currently active grants that we're participating in. Upcoming grants that we're waiting for funding that we had applied for, so probably the 1st of October, we should be looking at funding because that's when the grant period starts, or here within the next week or two. One is the Rifle Resistant Body Armor Grant, and the second is the through ACOG was the ticket writer grant. So budget on the rifle resisted grant is about $20,400, and the other budget for the ticket writer is about $75,000 on those that we're looking at being funded. So some things to expect with Operation Lone Star. I think it's actually the next slide. We're going to talk about extending the period for Operation Lone Star. But Stone Garden, we were contacted about 2 weeks ago on Operation Stone Garden from the Border Patrol. So they're looking to fund some more equipment from some funds from fiscal year 22. It's about $60,000 that they had surplus, which will be towards license plate readers as well. So hopefully we'll see that movement here over the next couple of months or so. And then with Operation Lone Star, like I said, the next slide will talk about the extension on that.
Okay, we'll get to that. Let's wrap up this 1.24.
Yes, sir.
There's no action for us tonight. This is informational that you're bringing to us.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And so just to summarize, it looks like to me we've got 2 active grants, Operation Lone Star and Operation Stone Garden.
Yes, sir.
And then we've got 2 pending.
Yes,
one
sir.
for body armor and one for ticket rider.
Yep.
And we may also pick up that license plate reader on Stone Garden.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. So anything else on item 1.24? Let's move on to item 1.25. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the 2024 Operation Lone Star 4587302 project extension period until August 31 of 2025. Lieutenant Gage.
So the governor's office basically they extended the period for Operation Lone Star 2024 basically another year. So it would have ended the 31st of August. So they extended it to 25, 31st of August of 25. They're shifting the grant application period for Lone Star. Traditionally, it was in the usually about June, summertime, it would come up. So they're actually shifting it to get it online with a lot of the other grant applications, which will start in December. So they kind of extended this period without opening another grant application. They mainly want to fund, make sure that people that are personnel that are funded in this grant continue to be able to fund it so they can keep their jobs, so they don't have to get moved anywhere else. So we're expecting maybe about another $120,000 to be funded to that program, which will be for covered personnel. And I think there's some equipment costs that kind of will lapse within that period as well. So
That amount is just for our county?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So it could be more, but that's what they kind of estimate, 125,000. If they want to give us more, we'll take some more for it.
And this is informational, right?
I'm sorry, sir?
Informational, no action.
Actually, so
Was to approve this?
yeah, just to approve that period, the extension of that period for the 1 year. So just to, I guess, just to make sure it's clean on the grant.
Let's move for approval. Second?
I'll second.
A second? Okay, discussion. I think this is a good opportunity for the public to at least be aware of these various grant opportunities. We've gotten fairly aggressive with our grants. And we've been very successful with them. They've really made a big difference in not only county government, but a big difference in the budget too, because it's money that the taxpayers don't have to advance. But grants are a pain in the rear sometimes. There's a whole lot of reporting, and if you don't report, you get in trouble. And some of these grants, if you don't report within 30 days, 30-day numbers, in terms of criminal cases that we have, you lose the ability to have any state grants. So grant management has become vital to the operation of the county, and vital in terms of compliance, because if we don't comply, we could lose the ability to get any grants from the state. And that's something we certainly don't want. And so the entity that files most of those reports is the county clerk's office, which is not to be underestimated in terms of its importance. Without the county clerk's office providing those reports, we would not be able to get these grants. And I'm appreciative of the sheriff's office and the way that y'all have embraced grant writing and grant management. And I know there was, anytime you start something new, stub your toe a little bit. But it's kind of become a pretty fine-tuned machine. And
Yeah, we,
I like the reports that we're
yeah,
getting.
myself, Jody, and Noel, we, was it beginning of August? I think we went to a e-grants deal that the governor's office had put on, so down in ACOG. So it was a all-day, 8-hour class of how to use e-grants, which was, it was super exciting.
But this has become a very efficient tool.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm glad to hear you were so excited to attend, Scott. What opportunities for you?
Let's go ahead and vote on the motion to approve the.
I just have one question. Why August 31st and not the end of the fiscal year? Why do they do that?
State budgets.
The state budget is
Yeah.
August?
Yeah. They don't care about us.
Apparently not. Okay, that makes sense at least.
Okay, those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 1.26, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a one-year contract for inmate health care services between Kerr County and WellCat LLC. Captain Walter.
Yeah, this is our annual renewal of our inmate medical services contract with WellCat.
I hear crickets.
Yeah. Jason, I know this is an annual deal and everything, but just looking at the numbers, you know, it's, 1.1 million basically. You know, is this for the money we receive from other counties, is this thinking about a break-even deal almost for the year? I know a goal started like $1 million a year.
It'll be close, because
yeah.
the issue, you know, we used to do these contracts in multi-year approvals. Now, WellCat, both only do them once a year.
Sure.
Every one of them is going to have a built-in at least a 4.5% inflationary increase. So, you know, I guess the overall goal would be hopefully we bring in enough revenue that covers the WellCat contract.
Okay. I'll move for approval.
I'll say.
We got a motion and a second to approve the contract with WellCat LLC. And just to clarify, this is something that is not discretionary.
Oh, right.
We have to provide these services. We are mandated by the Constitution to have a jail in the county, and we have to provide these healthcare services to our inmates. So, we're kind of at the mercy of the providers.
I love the part where they say, you know, the CPI is only 3.5, but that doesn't really show the economic burden, so we're gonna do 4.5. All right.
We're all living with it.
Yep, we are.
Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 1.27. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the mutual aid agreement for cooperation on law enforcement efforts between Kerr County Sheriff's Office and the Live Oak County Sheriff's Office for September 3, 2024 through January 31 of 2025. Captain Walter.
This is just a temporary mutual aid agreement between us and the Live Oak County Sheriff's Department. It's just another opportunity for sheriff's departments to support each other in enforcement programs, enforcement actions. We run task force and stuff in our county or different counties. It's just another opportunity for smaller sheriff's departments like ours, especially smaller ones than ours, that we can help each other out in our enforcement duties.
They're pretty far south for us.
Well, they're on the freeway, going down the coast. You get a big incident up there, it'd be a big deal.
You know, their county it's another county that has a interstate highway freeway system that has a lot of border-related crimes that go through their county. So it's another opportunity for us to help that out.
A lot of these crime groups go through San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got to keep fair on both sides of San Antonio. Yeah. Any other discussion? Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the mutual aid agreement for cooperation on law enforcement efforts between Kerr County Sheriff's Office and Live Oak County Sheriff's Office for September 24 through January 31st, 25.
Got a motion and a second to approve the mutual aid agreement with Live Oak County. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 1.28, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a master agreement with documentation for a RICO IMC 4510 copier for the Commissioners Court. Contract to begin on November 1 of 2024. Ms. Grinstead.
This is just a standard contract. Our copier contract is going to be at the end of October, so this is going, it's with a new company, it's Documentation, same exact machine though. It's already in the budget and the county attorney has reviewed.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the master agreement with documentation for the copier as presented. Any discussion?
And the attorney's office is looked at this.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Did you read all that fine print?
It's very tiny.
I didn't have
Very tiny.
Did their rates go up?
It's basically the same. This one includes our color copies. My last contract did not. We paid additional for each color copy. So it'll work out to almost exactly what we're paying now, within a few dollars a
You can
month.
figure that out. I'll make a motion that we approve the master agreement with documentation for the copier for Commissioners Court.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? For those at home, you hear us talk about Jody, you hear us talk about the boss. This is your chance to see her. She sits right over here in the same city in every court meeting that we have. She's our best kept secret.
Thank you.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 1.29. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the RICO equipment removal buyout authorization for Commissioners Court copier lease that expires October 19, 2024.
This is just the paperwork for RICO to come pick up the machine we currently have.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the swap out of machines. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 1.30, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on requests from appointed and elected officials to appoint clerks and assistants for their offices pursuant to local government code. We sent this out, a couple weeks ago. They reported back. Now this is, we approved their appointment of their respective clerks and assistants. I move that we approve it.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the appointed elected officials designation of clerks and assistants as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 1.31, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve contract between Divide Volunteer Fire Department and Kerr County.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve renewing the contract with the Divide Volunteer Fire Department as we have in years past. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 1.32, update regarding the application submitted to the UGRA for their Water Resources Preservation Grant from the rainwater catchment system and other possible conservation methods at the new animal control facility.
Yes, I was attended the UGRA board meeting, and they approved our application. It was a 90-10 grant with a maximum of $125,000 to go towards the rainwater catchment system. And this is just, we have a resolution from them that I have a copy of, so I'll give to, I don't know where Nadine probably should have a copy of. And this goes on, and the contract will be coming up at our next meeting, but I did want to recognize UGRA for really assisting us with this. And again, UGRA has been a partner of ours for many years. I was looking back on some other projects. In 2005, they helped with the East Kerr County sewer project started. They helped fund the initial grant to see the feasibility of that study. So they continued hogs. They worked with us on the hog eradication program. So they're really, it's a river cleanup. I mean, they are a tremendous partner, and that's one of the publicly thanked them in addition to this grant. No action on this. At this time, the contract is coming out.
Very well, then we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is 1.33. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to surplus IT items from the IT department.
Yes, you have before you a list of the IT equipment that is going to be surplus.
I move for approval.
Clean out. I'll second. Look at all that.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Yeah.
It's amazing what happens when you get a new department. It's truly
Believe
amazing.
it.
And the other thing, I just want to thank the auditor's office. I mean, keeping track of all of this stuff is amazing. So hats off to your staff, Tanya, trying to keep track of everything with these two. I mean, every little computer and piece, and not to mention our trucks and vehicles and all that. A lot of work. Appreciate it.
Well, I can truthfully say, that I've never met a detail and Tanya did well. So we got a motion and a second to accept the surplus IT items. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 1.34. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to establish a petty cash fund for the animal control facility.
I'll take that one. It came to Reagan and I's attention that there was a need for a petty cash account at Animal Control, and primarily that came up with a change in some of the services that they charge. A lot of our customers out there, we do accept checks and credit cards, but a lot of people pay in cash. And they're in need of that. And we met with Tanya, and she found the government code, section 130.909, where that is allowed. And so it does have to be appointed by the court to allow them to have a petty cash account. They are asking for $150 to start that. If that needs to be more or less, we can change that through court as well through this code.
Yeah, moves probably to have one already.
Yeah, we
It
do.
needs to be done.
Yeah.
Is that a motion?
I make that motion that we allow the animal services to have the petty cash account for $150 to start.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the petty cash fund for the animal control facility.
Just a question for Reagan. I mean, how are you going to utilize the fund? Are you going to be making expenditures with petty cash, or is this just to have change and just be able to accept money?
As far as I know, this is just really for change and stuff, because a lot of people come in and they may not have exact change. And so just that.
So presumably then the fund will continue to increase and you'll have to, at some period of time,
Turn it off,
make
turn it
deposits.
over.
Yeah.
Turn deposits over to the treasurer.
Yeah, they'll just
every time.
make deposits on
Every
that
full
basis.
year.
Yeah.
They have to turn it in within 5 days.
Within 5 days.
Yeah. They just keep that minimum deposit.
Okay. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the approval agenda.
Hey,
Yes, ma'am.
May I?
Yes.
Or the
Yes.
bids?
And that's item what, 1.16, 15, 1.15.
Bids?
Yeah.
No.
She just did, she
Well,
reviewed it, and she wants to go back.
It was pretty clear who the one was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. After reviewing for the fuel bids, I'd like to award to Maxi Energy Company, and that is gasoline unleaded, .4116, diesel high sulfur off-road, .2239, and diesel low sulfur on-road diesel is .4239. And I did want to read something so you kind of understand what this bid really is about. It's about the rack price, and petroleum rack prices, also known as wholesale rack prices, are based on the cost of transporting fuel from a refinery to a distribution rack or rack along a pipeline. Rack prices include the cost of the gas, transportation, overhead, and profit, but not taxes or freight charges to transport fuel to retail stations. Rack prices can vary by terminal and depend on several factors, including crude oil cost, refining costs, distance between the terminal and the retailer, and spot market movements. Rack prices are updated daily at 6 p.m. and can fluctuate intraday or by region. So that's what we're bidding on, is to lock that in.
Very good.
Kelly, what was the name of that vendor?
Maxi Energy, they're at 206 McFarland Drive, Kerrville, Texas. MAE line, yes, sir.
Make motion we award the Delivered Fuel Road Bridge bid to Maxi Energy.
I'll second.
So, motion and a second to award the delivered fuel contract to Maxi Energy. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, back over to the approval agenda. Budget amendments.
Yes, you have before you 28 budget adjustments. We hope these are the last ones for the year. We appreciate all of the departments getting back with us in a timely manner so we could get them out today.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2.2, pay bills.
Yes, invoices for today's consideration, $799,557.13.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bills as presented. Paying the bills as presented. Any discussion?
Not many are coming in under a million.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2.3, late bills.
Yes, we have one for $100.
I move to approve.
We have a motion and a second to approve the late bills as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2.4, auditor reports.
Yes, we did one internal audit, and you have the report in front of you for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the auditor reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2.5, monthly reports.
Yes, August 2024. Payroll approval, County Treasurer Tracy Sullivan, Environmental Health, OSSF, Director Ashley Batters, Constable Tommy Rodriguez, Precinct 1, Kyle Snyder, Precinct 2, Paul Gonzalez, Precinct 3, Brad Ryder, Precinct 4, Justice of the Peace, Judge Mitzi French, Precinct 1, Judge J.R. Horn, Precinct 2, Judge Kathy Mitchell, Precinct 3, and Judge Bill Ragfield, Precinct 4. I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the monthly reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2.6, court orders.
I don't have nothing but the court orders from our August 26th meeting. Look for your order and make motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the court orders as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Information agenda. Status reports from department heads. Any other reports? Okay, moving on to 3.2, status reports from elected officials. No? Moving on, 3.3, status reports from liaison commissioners. Any report?
Yeah, I've asked Shane to, in maintenance, to build us another counter like out here for our security people here for the West Kerr Annex. They need something there since we're going to be manning that place with deputy.
There isn't carpenters out.
Well. So anyway, I just want everybody to know that. And in visiting with him, he's got money in his budget for stuff like that.
Good. Any other liaison reports? Do we have anything for executive session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that, we are adjourned.
You'll need to take action after executive session, please.
We have one executive session.
Okay, action, okay. It is 11:04, we're coming out of executive session. We call item 5.1, which is action that may be required on matters discussed in executive session. And I'll make a motion that we authorize the filing of lawsuit against the nails on the treehouse on the river.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're going to revisit briefly liaison commissioner status reports for the airport. Mr. Payson.
Yeah, I forgot to raise this during the reporting time, but I did want to make the court aware that our county auditor, myself, met with the new airport manager, Andrew Munoz, last week. And we actually had some good news that came out of it, at least relative to our budget. Because the developer, this goes to the, I think it's roughly 43 acres that the airport would like to purchase. And of course, the county share of that would be 50%. Of the 10%, because TxDOT would pay for 90%. But previously, we would have to fund it all and then get reimbursed after 2 years from TxDOT. Now it appears that the developer is wanting a price that's substantially greater than the appraised value. The appraised value came in a little over $2 million or so. And I'm understanding now that they're wanting $4.5 million, which now means that it'll be in TxDOT's hands, and they'll go through a process. They'll get another appraised value, and there will be some form of settlement, but it's effectively an eminent domain. And whatever that settlement value finally is, will be settled kind of on the spot. We won't be having to wait for 2 years to get money from TxDOT. So the implication is, you know, while our 10% might be more, it'll certainly be well within our budgeted amount because we budgeted for the pull-out. So it's good news from that standpoint. We'll see where it goes. Now it's kind of out of our hands, and it'll be up to TxDOT to resolve the whole thing and come up with a settlement. So good news from a budget standpoint. Anyway.
Also good news that we're doing on the
Yep.
That's even better.
So that's all.
Okay, good. Anything else? With that, we stand adjourned.
Do we have